Okay, so this was a fun project. Um, I chose to do my own, which is why I have to record this. And for my own, I chose to do an API of cybersecurity information. I went on to Cloudflare Radar, which is a nice API that collects a bunch of specific information and displays the parameters within a chart. First, it writes the live information to CSV. The data types that I have collecting are WAF, layer 3, and traffic. And then it takes that CSV information, does some statistical calculations, and outputs it to a JSON file. Use get data, and the header inputs the API token and checks for the correct status code, and then outputs an error and what that error is, such as not having the API token, not having the right query, or the site identifying the host as a bot. And it gets the date, so it only takes the 7 most recent days from the API and then writes that information, runs through each of the 3 data types and puts it into the file. And something that made it so it outputs correctly was having it check the same date time for all 3 of them and then placing it on the line. Then to calculate the statistics, I ran through a for loop for each of the rows and checked that it had the right length and performed the calculations. So after the CSV drew all the information from the API, it collects the following information from Cloudflare: the date that is tracked, and the mean and the standard deviation. So 70% of attacks within the last 7 days were web application. So these are denial of service. And then layer 3 is the percentage of bytes sent, which is only 7% in the last 7 days. And another metric to track was the total traffic. And the total traffic was 77%. I then outputted all of that information to a file that is not results, so I'm going to have to change that. Okay. Well, let's do this live and figure it out because it's supposed to be results. Is results. It's not results. Okay. Hmm. Mhm. Oh, I just saw this and assumed it was the JSON one. We're just gonna change it to results for the CSV, and then it will be results for the other one. All right, let's start this again.